never, never.
All right, Sir Stephen, great to see you this fine evening. I just have a few questions for you.
Sure, Simon.
All right. As first question is, as an industry executive within the auto industry, what's your outlook for the Philippine car market this 2024?
2024 is somewhat different from 2023, I suspect, right? Because 2023 is the year of coming out from the pandemic, where the supply situation resumes the second half of the year, and when the production came back, it came back very fast.
Right.
So it's not just a production, it's not just a chip, but in terms of the logistic environment, the cars coming in, towards the end of the quarter, like last quarter, it begins to feel like almost normal. Everything caught up.
Okay.
So there's no longer that pandemic situation where the demand outstrips the supply. Right now, they're equally balanced now. I would say the supply has caught up so quickly and so fast, there'll be a lot of pressure on the market, like manufacturer, automaker, distributor, to start to forecast that the industry is going to be very strong, right? But I am of opinion that I think 2024 will be very similar to 2023 in terms of the production or the demand and the supply side. What's different is that I think it's going to be very competitive, as in you will see more brands trying to grab market share, get consumer. So you will see maybe slightly better numbers at the end of the year for 2024, but at the cost of maybe margins for the automakers, because then there's going to be more like discounting that's going to happen. There's more trying to get customers to buy vehicles. So I think there's a lot of pressure, which actually means what? It's a great market for consumer.
Right.
So it's become from 2022 a seller market to now a buyer market in 2024.
Right. And when you say competitive, as a legacy Japanese car brand, how do you feel about the Chinese coming into our market? How do you survive in a market where price is king?
Yeah, I would say price is a determining factor as an economics student. Price is going to be one of those things, but if you go back to the economics principle, the price is only 1 to 4 P's. Right. So there are other 3 P's that you will contend with, and I think consumer in this market are becoming more and more educated, more experienced, so they're able to tell different what the value is. So I think the value of an automotive, it's not inherent just in that how much power it has, or how the price is, or what's the quality of the leather. It has to do with the ownership experience. Eventually, as the market matures, the ownership experience takes over.
Right.
Because after the house, the car is the second largest investment or what you will spend on.
Correct.
For young people, car is like the first thing that they want because it's about mobility. So therefore, it's a big investment. It's a big sum of money. So they'll think very carefully about, if I buy a car, yeah, it looks good, lots of features, you'll be attracted to that. Eventually, what takes over is what's the ownership experience going to look like several years down the line. Because that's what's going to keep the value of
The vehicle.
asset. Right? Because of ownership experience. The reputation, the image of it is going to take over and says, if you invest in a good brand, the brand takes care of you, eventually you're able to reap the benefit of a good brand. So in a set way, I think I'm saying is that when a consumer buy a car, now there's a lot of jostling around who has the best price, who has the best product, and eventually it becomes 2024 is the best price may not be what you want. What's the best distribution? What's the best word of mouth? And you know, it's like any kind of a brand. Car is not yet a commodity, and it will never be a commodity. Because there's pride in ownership of being a car. If you sit down with a bunch of people, guys, night out, you may talk about work and stuff. Eventually, the conversation goes into cars. So, which means the car is not a commodity. It's a reflection of who you are, your opinion, your values, your stature.
Of course, yes.
Right.
Very well said, Sir Stephen. Right now we're in the Mazda CX-90, one of your newest products.
Yeah.
So what can what can potential buyers expect in terms of ownership experience for this vehicle?
This product is on the new platform or the large car platform of Mazda. So
Mhm.
it's the latest in terms of technology, thinking, engineering. It has a great package in terms of coming back into what makes a car really nice to drive. Inline six,
Right.
very smooth, nice sound, rear drive.
Yes.
So when you drive a rear drive,
But this one is all-wheel drive, correct?
it is.
But is it a rear bias?
Yeah, it's a
all-wheel
rear
drive?
bias all-wheel drive. So most all-wheel drive today in the market are usually typically front wheel all-wheel drive.
Uh-huh.
Right,
And then you
and
just
the-
put a
and-
prop shaft for
Right, and the engine is transverse, not longitudinal. So you drive the front wheel with a prop shaft, drive the rear. This drives the rear and then drive the front.
Okay.
So the drive experience is somewhat different, maybe more rewarding. And in this car, the principle of the engineering goes back into the most fun car on the planet, which is the MX-5.
Mhm.
And even with a large platform car like this, when you're able to do longitudinal rear drive, you end up with easier to engineer a 50-50 balance. So with a large vehicle like this, the principle, the MX-5, equally balanced between front and back,
Right.
and then left to right, makes the car rotate very well. So
Yeah.
I think you're going to drive this car for the next few days. You will find that
Yeah.
even for a large car like this, you don't feel the heft of it. You feel that it's solid, planted, but as you drive it, the car feels light and nimble
Right. Yeah.
because of the engineering. And that, I think, is where the genius of engineering and design comes in.
Right. Yeah. Correct. Actually, I never realized it was this big until I tried parking it in this spot
Yeah.
just now.
Yeah, it's a pretty big car, and the wheelbase is very long. And when we talk about wheelbase, people will just equate like wheelbase will then equal to cabin space, and it is a really large cabin space
Yeah.
inside. So the space is wonderful, and so in this car, because it's nice to drive to, it's nice to be sitting here where we are,
Yeah.
but it's also equally nice to be driving the car in front.
Right. Yes. All right. So, Steven, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
We'll hope we'll see you again
Sure.
very soon.
thank you.